Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, good evening. Bonsoir, bienvenue, welcome to you all. Thank you very much for your presence here at the University of Geneva, or in front of a computer or a screen if you're following this ceremony live on the internet. An evening during which we will reward and celebrate 3 outstanding human rights defenders, or groups of human rights defenders, as their work seems unfortunately more needed every year. We have the privilege to have one of the nominees with us this evening. Unfortunately, the other 6 in total were banned from traveling. That's why we have those 6 empty chairs on stage this evening. This ceremony also opens the Human Rights Week in Geneva. It takes place at the University of Geneva, and that's why we'll hear from the Dean of the University of Geneva, Monsieur Yves Flückiger. But to start first, one of the professors here at the University of Geneva, she also was the chair of the Martin Ennals Foundation, and also twice president of the Swiss Confederation. Please welcome Madame Micheline Calmiret. C'est à vous.
Bonsoir, mesdames et messieurs. Madame la haute commissaire adjointe aux droits humains, Madame la conseillère administrative, Monsieur le recteur, Monsieur le président de la Fondation Martin Ennals, Mesdames et Messieurs les membres du jury, Mesdames et Messieurs, c'est en tant que présidente du comité d'organisation de la Semaine des droits humains que me revient l'honneur de vous accueillir ce soir. Je suis très heureuse de vous voir aussi nombreux pour accueillir les nominés et délivrer ce prix. L'Université de Genève organise une semaine consacrée aux droits humains depuis 2013 pour la 5e année consécutive en partenariat avec la Fondation Martin Ennals, le département fédéral des affaires étrangères, le canton, la ville de Genève, le Festival du film et Forum international sur les droits humains et le bureau du Haut Commissariat aux droits humains. Nous nous efforçons d'inscrire cette semaine dans un contexte international et pluridisciplinaire. Cette année, nous nous attacherons à approfondir le thème des migrations et des obligations des États dans un contexte globalisé. Mesdames et messieurs, les droits humains ne sont pas respectés. Ils ne sont pas respectés non plus à l'égard des migrants. Ils ne sont pourtant pas exclus de la Déclaration universelle des droits de l'homme. Et pourtant, on dénie leurs droits. On leur refuse un peu de solidarité. On les expulse massivement. On expulse des êtres humains précarisés. Or, la plupart des traités et des conventions qui traitent de la problématique du respect des droits humains et des droits des migrants ont pour sujet les États. Et plus précisément, quelles sont les obligations des États alors qu'il ne se passe pas un jour sans que se déroulent des désastres humains aux portes de l'Europe. Dans le cadre de la Semaine des droits humains qui débute ce soir avec l'attribution du prix Martin Ennals, un colloque académique rassemblera 2 jours durant des experts et donnera lieu ultérieurement à une publication. Mercredi soir, une conférence sera donnée toujours sur le thème de la migration par une éminente personnalité italienne que vous connaissez certainement, Madame Giusy Nicolini, ancienne maire de Lampedusa, et un échange sera organisé jeudi après-midi avec des étudiants du secondaire de Genève autour du film Non-Assistance, en présence de la conseillère d'État Anne-Emery Toracinta et de la co-réalisatrice du film. L'Université de Genève est aussi membre du réseau Scholars at Risk. L'Université de Genève organise donc aussi durant cette semaine une table ronde qui sera publique autour de la présentation d'un rapport sur les menaces législatives et administratives contre les institutions de l'enseignement supérieur. L'université est un lieu où devrait régner la liberté de penser et de questionner ses idées. Les universités ont subi en un an 257 attaques dans 35 pays. Mesdames et messieurs, depuis la Deuxième Guerre mondiale, la protection des droits humains est au centre des préoccupations internationales. Peu à peu, des normes ont émergé, limitant la marge de manœuvre des États dans le but de protéger tous les individus. Les gouvernements sont toujours plus nombreux à prendre des engagements juridiquement contraignants en adhérant aux principales conventions internationales. Et de grands efforts ont été accomplis avec la mise en œuvre de mécanismes pour juger et sanctionner les auteurs de violations. Le Haut Commissariat le Haut Commissariat des Nations Unies aux droits humains, le Conseil des droits de l'homme, avec son examen périodique universel, la Cour pénale internationale, la Cour européenne des droits de l'homme. Mais ce qu'on voit, en définitive, c'est que malheureusement, l'existence d'obligations juridiques n'emporte pas forcément que ces dernières soient toujours respectées. Mesdames et messieurs, nous sommes réunis dans cet auditoire pour attribuer un prix, le prix Martin Ennals, qui récompense l'engagement tout entier d'une personne en faveur des droits humains. Les personnes qui luttent pour les droits humains prennent des risques. Et vous le savez, elles ont besoin de protection. Le prix Martin Ennals a pour but de protéger les défenseurs des droits humains partout dans le monde, et ce, en assurant à leur action visibilité et publicité. Il donne à ces finalistes des ressources financières pour poursuivre leurs projets, mais aussi l'opportunité de se faire connaître et de mieux éclairer la cause qu'ils défendent. Cette cérémonie n'est donc pas qu'une cérémonie, elle est partie d'une action d'ensemble. Elle est la reconnaissance des sacrifices et des risques consentis par des personnes qui se sont véritablement engagées à leurs risques et périls. Et vous le verrez ce soir, seule une finaliste a pu voyager pour être ici avec nous à Genève. Mesdames et messieurs, je suis heureuse de vous compter parmi celles et ceux qui soutiennent les défenseurs et les défenseuses des droits humains et vous remercie de votre présence et de votre attention. Merci beaucoup.
Et maintenant, quelques mots du recteur de l'Université de Genève, M. Flukiger.
Les salutations protocolaires ayant été assurées avec brio par notre professeure, Mme Calmiret, vous me permettrez une formule plus lapidaire en vous disant simplement « Excellence, Mesdames et Messieurs, chers collègues, chères étudiantes, chers étudiants, c'est pour moi un très grand privilège, année après année, de vous accueillir dans cet auditoire pour la remise du prix Martin Ennals. Genève, comme vous le savez, est une ville profondément marquée par l'humanisme et par la défense des droits humains, ce que Robert de Tra a nommé l'esprit de Genève, un mélange de Rousseau, de Calvin et de Dunant. Ville de refuge, ville de justice, mais aussi ville de charité, Genève est devenue la ville des organisations internationales, la ville des accords de Genève. Elle est et elle demeure un symbole de paix, un symbole de dialogue et de démocratie. Son université, l'Université de Genève, votre université, est bien évidemment imprégnée de toutes ses valeurs et de tous ses principes. Elle entend les porter haut et fort par ses recherches et par ses enseignements. Il constitue, mesdames et messieurs, plus que jamais, les meilleurs remparts contre toute forme de fanatisme, contre toute forme de totalitarisme. Ils ne peuvent aussi s'épanouir que dans la paix et dans la démocratie. Notre université souhaite être actrice de la propagation de cet esprit de Genève. Ce n'est pas un hasard. Si nous avons lancé l'année dernière un programme Horizon académique qui permet aujourd'hui à notre université d'accueillir des étudiants réfugiés dans notre canton. Ce n'est pas un hasard non plus, mesdames et messieurs, si notre université a été la première université de Suisse à rejoindre le réseau Scholars at Risk qui permet effectivement de protéger, comme cela a été rappelé tout à l'heure, de protéger des chercheuses et des chercheurs qui sont menacés dans leur existence ou dans leurs infrastructures ou dans leurs recherches dans leur pays et qui trouvent ici, à Genève, un refuge qui leur permet de continuer leur carrière. Ce n'est pas non plus un hasard si nous avons accueilli avec enthousiasme le Centre interfacultaire en droit de l'enfant, où nous soutenons très fortement les initiatives de nos collègues, notamment dans le projet InZone qui permet d'amener l'éducation dans les camps de réfugiés, notamment au Kenya. Il n'y a pas de hasard enfin si l'Université de Genève est désormais l'hôte récurrent de la cérémonie de remise du prix Martin Ennals, cet événement majeur dans le domaine de la promotion de la paix et de la défense des droits humains. C'est donc un très grand honneur pour moi, pour toute notre université, de vous accueillir aujourd'hui pour cette cérémonie. En ouvrant la semaine des droits humains, la remise de cette distinction constitue non seulement le premier des rendez-vous que nous proposons sur cette thématique chère à notre université, elle rappelle aussi de manière très concrète et volontaire que les femmes et les hommes qui mènent le combat contre la violation des droits fondamentaux de leurs contemporains se doivent d'être célébrés, se doivent d'être encouragés afin de pouvoir poursuivre leur lutte. Je remercie en particulier nos partenaires de la ville et l'État de Genève pour cette cérémonie. Et j'aimerais terminer simplement en vous invitant tout d'abord aux autres événements de cette Semaine des droits humains, consacrée, comme cela a été rappelé, cette année aux migrations et aux devoirs des États, mais aussi à notre Dies Academicus, qui cette année a lieu ce vendredi et qui aura l'immense privilège de recevoir, dans le cadre du fil de cette cérémonie sur le courage, deux invités exceptionnels, Madame Svetlana Alexievitch, prix Nobel de littérature, qui sera malheureusement empêchée de venir à Genève, mais elle sera représentée à cette cérémonie, et Monsieur Ben Achour, qui est un constitutionnaliste très réputé dans le domaine des droits humains en Tunisie. Je vous souhaite, mesdames et messieurs, une très bonne soirée et me réjouis une fois de plus de pouvoir être avec vous, ensemble, pour célébrer cette remise des prix Martin Ennals. Merci beaucoup de votre attention.
Merci, Monsieur le Recteur. Merci. This evening, as I said, we will be introduced to the work of the three 2017 Martin Ennals Award nominees. I'm sure most of you know the meaning and the importance of this award, but for the newcomers, and I hope there are many, whether here or abroad, we'll show you a brief film in the memory of Martin Ennals, the founder of this award, a film that will be followed by a few words by Dick Austin, who is the chair of the Martin Ennals Foundation.
We criticize universally because human rights are universal, even if they're universally disregarded. I think there is less cynicism about human rights in a curious way than there was. There is still double talk, double standards. There always will be. We can never be out of date. There will always be infringements of human rights. And the work which we were doing is part of the overall pattern of human development. Whatever the political system, whatever the country, whatever the cultural background, whatever the religion.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, today is a special day in more than one respect. 10 October is International Day Against the Death Penalty, a day of action which you will be able to join, if you haven't done so already, on the fringes of tonight's ceremony. But we are here tonight for a different reason, namely to recognize the work of three outstanding human rights defenders and groups. They have been selected by a jury of 10 human rights organizations from among many impressive nominees. In the end, we bring that down to only one laureate tonight, but that should not distract from the fact that each year there are three finalists who represent the best among human rights defenders around the world. Today, we honor all three, and we will continue to work with each of them to help support their case after today. The Martin Ennals Award exists to protect human rights defenders. They are people who fight for the rights of others, often at great personal risk. By raising their public profile, we want to show international solidarity and provide them with some protection. Your participation tonight is a contribution to this effort. So let me introduce the finalists and their representatives. You will come to know them through their film portraits in a few minutes, and also in their own words when they come to speak. Unfortunately, as already was mentioned by Michel Cerruti, only one of our three finalists has been able to come in person. And I warmly welcome Carla Avelar, who, as a transgender woman in El Salvador, grew up on the streets of that capital city, suffering all manner of abuse, including discrimination, exploitation, violence, imprisonment. These experiences have forged Carla into a formidable advocate of the rights of transgender people. With three others, Carla founded Concavis Trans, which was created to defend and promote the human rights of LGBTI persons, with a focus on those living with HIV, as she does. In a society where violence is endemic, Carla has lived under threat for years on end, and that is not finished. All the more reason that we are very happy to have you with us today, Carla, and we also welcome your mother, Rosa. And then to the other two finalists, here represented by their families and friends. Mohamed Zari is the Egypt country director for the Cairo Institute for Human Rights Studies, responsible for its legal research, media outreach, and national advocacy. The Cairo Institute's work was influential in the Arab world, and particularly in Egypt, of course, which resulted in death threats to its director, who was forced, with his regional staff, to move abroad to continue their work. He is here tonight. Mohammed chose to stay and is now banned from travel and facing judicial reprisal. He is a legal scholar as well as an activist who is widely seen as a unifying figure, bringing together the human rights community in Egypt to advocate with a common approach. It is our pleasure to welcome Mohammed's wife, Shima Abdelaziz, and their two young daughters, as well as the director of the Cairo Institute, already mentioned, Bahi El-Din. They will receive the award, the nomination on Mohammed's behalf. Finally, a group of outstanding human rights defenders from Cambodia. Free the 5KH refers to 5 activists who were detained for more than a year on account of their work with the Cambodian Human Rights and Development Association ad hoc. Recently released after 427 days of pre-trial detention, they are now awaiting trial. There were widespread international calls for their unconditional release and to stop judicial harassment of human rights defenders generally in Cambodia, all of which comes in the context of an increasingly severe crackdown on civil society and the political opposition in Cambodia. The 5 are banned from travel, as already mentioned, but I'm happy to welcome San Vate, daughter of Mr. Yi Sok San, and Un Bunari, daughter of Mrs. Lim Moni. You will see them later. A particularly painful aspect of the plight of human rights defenders is the suffering of their families. This year, again, our finalists and their families have paid and continue to pay a high personal price. I recall in this context also that our laureates from the last 2 years, Ahmed Mansour from the United Arab Emirates and Ilham Tohti from China, remain in jail. The work for them continues. Over to some other business. Before announcing the 2017 laureate, I want to acknowledge our donors. They provide us with financial support and also credibility. The decision to donate sends a strong signal that the protection of human rights defenders is important and that the Martin Ennals Award plays an effective role in that effort. Geneva is the capital of human rights, so it is right that this award is presented here. We are grateful for the support from the Swiss Confederation, the Canton of Geneva, a private local foundation, and in particular our partner, the City of Geneva, who host the ceremony here during the University of Geneva's Human Rights Week. I want to thank in particular Deputy Mayor Sandrine Salerno, who has championed this partnership with the city for years. It's also an international award, of course, as reflected by our international donors who are known for supporting human rights defenders. We have had many throughout the years, and there will be many more to follow, but at the moment we're talking about the governments of Ireland, the Netherlands, Denmark and Norway through its Human Rights House, and Brood voor die Welt as also a strong contributor, non-governmental. Why do these donors support us? I want to mention here our jury of 10 major non-governmental organizations defending human rights that provide unique credibility to the Martin Ennals Award. That credibility has provided real protection. And we know this because our previous laureates and finalists tell us so. You have seen their names up on the screen, but I do want to mention them just again. Human Rights Watch, Frontline Defenders, Human Rights First, the International Federation for Human Rights, FIDH, the International Service for Human Rights, Docs, Evangelisches Werk für Diakonie und Entwicklung, the International Commission of Jurists, the World Organization Against Torture, OMCT, and of course Amnesty International, which, as we just saw, Martin Ennals led in its formative years as its first Secretary General. Martin would have been 90 this year. As one of the dwindling generation of those who knew Martin and worked closely with him, I find it immensely gratifying that all of us are able to continue celebrating him in this way. I want to thank the jury for its work. It was not easy to choose the 3 finalists and even harder to designate a laureate from among them. Our 3 finalists were already informed yesterday. Now I am honored to make the public announcement, and I congratulate Mohammed Zari on being selected as the 2017 Martin Ennals laureate. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Thanks for your supporting these courageous men and women.
Thank you, Dick. Let me introduce you now one of the first finalists. They come from Cambodia and they're known by the name 3-5KH. Dick has already introduced you to some of their work. Let me add that their work is contributing to empower thousands of Cambodians today to actively defend their rights and seek justice. Here's a film to introduce you to their work.
នៅពេលដែលគេចាប់ពួកយើងខ្ញុំមិនដែលគិតថាគេចាប់ពួកខ្ញុំទេយើងមិនដែលគិតថាយើងចង់បានអំណាចនឹងទី1ហើយយើងដើរបង្រៀនផ្សព្វផ្សាយឲ្យគាត់ស្គាល់ពីសិទ្ធិហ្នឹងគឺជាចំណុចសំខាន់ទី2វាដូចជារូបភាពនេះយើងបញ្យល់ពលរដ្ឋឲ្យគាត់យល់អំពីការស្វែងរកដំណោះស្រាយអញ្ចឹងពួកយើងនៅតែងតែឈរនៅខាងពួកគាត់ដែលក្រីក្រអញ្ចឹងអាថុកមានគោលការណ៍មួយគឺឈរជានៅខាងប្រជាពលរដ្ឋដែលរងការរំលោភហើយជួយពួកគាត់ដូច្នេះការយើងជួយពួកគាត់នឹងមិនមែនមានន័យថាយើងប្រឆាំងនឹងរដ្ឋទេយើងចង់ជួយពួកគាត់ឲ្យពួកគាត់ទទួលបាននៅយុត្តិធម៌ដោយទទួលបាននៅការដោះស្រាយមួយដោយគាត់លែងភ័យខ្លាចមិនឲ្យគេគំរាមកំហែងដោះស្រាយដោយយុត្តិធម៌សម្រាប់ពួកគាត់
ក្នុងការងារខ្ញុំជាអ្នកការពារសិទ្ធិមនុស្សនឹងខ្ញុំប្រកាសជាប្រឈមប៉ុន្តែមិនដឹងថាតើប្រឈមកម្រិតណាអីកម្រិតណា ខ្ញុំគាត់តែដឹងថាការចាប់ខ្លួនការឃុំខ្លួនហ្នឹងវាជាការប្រឈមមួយសម្រាប់អ្នកការពារសិទ្ធិមនុស្សទូទៅហើយ
ខ្ញុំនឹងមនុស្សបំផ្លាញជាតិខ្ញុំនឹងជាភេរវករបំផ្លាញជីវិតមនុស្សបំផ្លាញខ្ញុំតែងតែគិតថាកន្លងមកខ្ញុំធ្លាប់ទទួលការគំរាមកំហែងច្រើនពីការងាររបស់ខ្ញុំហើយខ្ញុំមានការយល់ឃើញថាការងារនេះត្រូវតែប្រឈមមុខជាមួយនឹងអ្នកដែលរំលោភបំពានដូច្នេះខ្ញុំត្រូវតែតាំងស្មារតីតាំងអារម្មណ៍ខ្លួនឯងថាសភាពការបែបនេះខ្ញុំត្រូវតែរក្សាជំហរខ្លួនឯងក្នុងការរស់នៅពន្ធនាគារហ្នឹងមិនមានន័យថាមិនរួញរាខ្លាំងពេកទេដោយសារតែខ្ញុំគិតថាខ្ញុំបានធ្វើអំពើត្រឹមត្រូវ
ពេលដែលខ្ញុំជាប់ពន្ធនាគារហ្នឹងគាត់ថាគ្រួសាររបស់ខ្ញុំគាត់មានផ្ទៃពោះចិត្តឆ្លងទន្លេអញ្ចឹងដល់ពេលដែលខ្ញុំជាប់បាន2ខែគាត់ឆ្លងទន្លេខ្ញុំគិតថាពីមុនគាត់មានការលំបាកខ្លាំងបាទពីដំបូងប៉ុន្តែឥឡូវគាត់នៅពេលតាមពិតនៅពេលដែលចាប់ខ្ញុំភ្លាមគាត់ពិបាកមែនទែនរហូតដល់ស្លប់បាទគាត់ស្លាប់ចឹងមួយឆ្នាំ2ខែនេះគឺថាយើងទទួលនៅការប៉ះពាល់ទៅដល់ទី1ផ្លូវអារម្មណ៍របស់យើងខ្លាំងបាទផ្លូវអារម្មណ៍នេះគឺថានៅពេលដែលខ្ញុំជាប់ដំបូងនោះគឺខ្ញុំដេកពេលខ្លះស្រក់ទឹកភ្នែកបាទជាមួយយើងគាត់គាត់តែបានប្រព្រឹត្តបទល្មើសលួចបទល្មើសប្លន់បទល្មើសបករបួសស្នាមសម្លាប់មនុស្សអីចឹងណាហើយយើងទៅសម្រាកនៅជាមួយគាត់
When you go to the prison, you are classified as prisoner. You are classified as criminal. So everybody, every guard and police, they look at you as prisoner. So first, you need to be low profile. Let them look down on you, and then step by step, you show them that you are different. Even in prison, you do good service to other prisoners in need.
យើងតែងតែប្រឹក្សាយោបល់ច្បាប់អំពីនីតិវិធីនៃការការពារខ្លួនស្របច្បាប់របស់យើងជាអ្នកទោសហ្នឹងចំពោះមុខច្បាប់ដោយសារតែអ្នកដែលមកពឹងពាក់យើងប្រឹក្សាយោបល់ហ្នឹងភាគច្រើនហ្នឹងគឺគាត់ត្រូវគេចាប់ខ្លួនដោយបំពានដែរ
ជាប់ពន្ធនាគារហ្នឹងហាក់ដូចជាមានការទទួលស្គាល់ការគោរពទៅលើអ្នកដែលការពារសិទ្ធិមនុស្សអាហ្នឹងខ្ញុំគិតថាអ្នកដែលនៅក្នុងពន្ធនាគារទោះបីជាអ្នកនោះត្រូវបានគេចាប់ដាក់ពន្ធនាគារក្នុងបទល្មើសអីក៏ដោយក៏ប៉ុន្តែហាក់ដូចជាយល់ដឹងថាអ្វីខុសអ្វីត្រូវ
ក្នុងរយៈពេលដែលយើងបានជាប់នៅក្នុងពន្ធនាគារនេះយើងឃើញថាមានពិសេសជាងគេនោះយើងឃើញថាមានការគ្រប់គ្រងពីមហាជនច្រើនមហាជនទាំងក្នុងស្រុកទាំងក្រៅស្រុកមានអង្គការជាតិអង្គការអន្តរជាតិ
អញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំគិតថាទោះបីជាតុលាការក្នុងប្រទេសមិនឲ្យយុត្តិធម៌ដល់យើងក៏ប៉ុន្តែការផ្ដល់យុត្តិធម៌មកលើពួកខ្ញុំគឺទៅលើមតិរបស់សហគមន៍ជាតិនិងសហគមន៍អន្តរជាតិ
អញ្ចឹងមនុស្សនឹងត្រូវដេកជាប់លើគ្នាអ្នកសម័យមើលថាដូចអីខ្ញុំតែងតែគ្រប់អង្គុយមើលពួកគេហ្នឹងដូចមនុស្សជាន់គ្នាស្លាប់ក្នុងសម័យកោះពេជ្រចឹង
លោកគ្រូទាំងអស់មកហើយនឹងអ្នកគ្រូសូមឲ្យទម្លាក់ការចោទប្រកាន់ដោយអយុត្តិធម៌
ដើម្បីមកជួបជុំបងប្អូនយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាហើយអរគុណច្រើនយើងទ្រាំទ្របានមកដល់ថ្ងៃនេះក៏ដោយសារតែមានការគាំទ្រហើយដោយសារតែយើងដឹងថាយើងមិនបានធ្វើអ្វីខុសយើងបានធ្វើអំពើត្រឹមត្រូវហើយ
We defend everybody that become victims, not only ordinary people, ranking from like community people, land victims, lawmakers, or politicians. We also defend the police being trapped as a victim. That's why the government doesn't like the way we defend people who the government identify as opposition to them, that the government want to crack down, want to divide, want to destroy.
គោលការណ៍សិទ្ធិមនុស្សជួយពលរដ្ឋដែលមានការភ័យខ្លាចនៃគេរំលោភដូច្នេះហើយបានជាពួកយើងសិទ្ធិមនុស្សហ្នឹងគឺថាយើងមានគោលការណ៍មួយយើងធ្វើយ៉ាងណាយើងបញ្ចុះបញ្ចូលធ្វើម៉េចកុំឲ្យគាត់ភ័យខ្លាច
ថាពួកយើងនឹងប្រឈមទៅនឹងរឿងច្រើនបាទឈមរឿងអាចរឿងដល់សម្លាប់រឿងដល់រត់យើងប្រើពាក្យថាឲ្យនេះតិចថារត់ចោលស្រុកគេថាសុភាសិតខ្មែរថាបើយើងធ្វើជ្រូកវាត្រូវតែទឹកក្តៅណាអានោះវាអញ្ចឹងណាបាទអញ្ចឹងយើងអ្នកធ្វើសិទ្ធិមនុស្សវាត្រូវតែជួបបញ្ហាអស់ហ្នឹងបាទយើងគិតបំផុតទេបាទ
ខ្ញុំអាចមានស្ថានភាពប្រសើរមកដល់ថ្ងៃនេះមិនបាក់ទឹកចិត្តខ្លាំងដោយសារតែមានការគ្រប់គ្រងអំពីប្រជាជនពីជនរងគ្រោះដែលខ្ញុំធ្លាប់ជួយគេអំពីប្រជាជនទូទៅអំពីសហគមន៍ក៏ដូចជាខាងអន្តរជាតិនានាដែលធ្វើការគ្រប់គ្រង
ច្រើនជាងអ្វីដែលខ្ញុំបានដឹងកាលពីខ្ញុំមិនទាន់ជាប់ពន្ធនាគារតែនៅក្នុងនោះគឺថាមានអ្នកជាប់ឃុំរាប់ពាន់រាប់រយរាប់ពាន់អ្នកដែលគេមិនបានមកប្តឹងដល់អង្គការសិទ្ធិមនុស្សហើយសុទ្ធតែទទួលរងនៅការរំលោភសិទ្ធិមនុស្សដែរតាមអ្វីដែលអ្នកជាប់ឃុំរៀបរាប់ប្រាប់ខ្ញុំនឹងគឺថាភាគតិចណាស់ដែលមិនទទួលរងការធ្វើទារុណកម្មធ្វើបាបវាយគឺភាគច្រើនសុទ្ធតែវាយឲ្យស្លាប់រហូតដល់ស្លាប់នឹងធ្វើទរណកម្មផ្សេងៗទៀតអញ្ចឹងអ្វីដែលខ្ញុំដឹងព័ត៌មាននៅក្នុងពន្ធនាគារជាព័ត៌មានមួយសំខាន់ដែរ
បាទដោយសារតែគាត់ពិបាកហើយគាត់ភ័យប៉ុន្តែនៅពេលដែលឃើញសហគមន៍ឃើញអីគេយកចិត្តទុកដាក់គេជួយគ្រប់គ្រងយើងនឹងធ្វើឲ្យគាត់មានមោទនភាពទៅវិញឥឡូវនេះរហូតដល់គាត់មានការសប្បាយរីករាយឃើញបងប្អូនយើងឬគាត់បាត់អាភាពភ័យខ្លាចទៅបែរជាគាត់មានមោទនភាពថាគ្រួសារគាត់ធ្វើកិច្ចការងារសិទ្ធិមនុស្សនឹងមានតម្លៃ
ដូចជានេះការទៀមទាការបាតកម្មលើកបដាលើកអីទៀមទាយុទ្ធធម៌នឹងឯងដែលចង់បង្ហាញថាឲ្យអាជ្ញាធររដ្ឋនឹងទៅដោះស្រាយជូនគាត់មិនមែនឲ្យអាជ្ញាធររដ្ឋនឹងទៅប្រក្រាបគាត់ទេអញ្ចឹងកន្លងមកបើសិនជាអាជ្ញាធររដ្ឋនឹងគាត់ទៅជួយប្រជាពលរដ្ឋមានន័យថាវាគ្មានរឿងអីដែលត្រូវរំលោភសិទ្ធិទេអញ្ចឹងការងារបេសកកម្មផងសមាគមអាត់ហុកនៅតែបន្តធ្វើការជួយប្រជាពលរដ្ឋទៀតលុះត្រាតែនៅក្នុងសង្គមយើងគ្មានការរំលោភសិទ្ធិទើបអាត់ហុកចប់បេសកកម្ម
As the 5 members of the group were not allowed, they were banned from traveling by the Cambodian authorities, Mrs. Sandrine Salerno, who's the deputy mayor of the city of Geneva, will now hand the award to Son Vate. She's Yili Soksan's daughter, and Bunari, who is Limoni's daughter. They will receive the award and speak on behalf of Free to 58KH. Please welcome them all three on stage.
First of all, I would like to pay my high respect to Venerable Monk from Cambodia and also ladies and gentlemen who are attending here. My name is San Watanapatay, the daughter of Mr. Yi Sok-san, and the senior investigator of ad hoc, one of the 5 who was put behind bars for 427 days. Ladies and gentlemen, it was my great honor to be here and standing on the international stage after a very short time as witnesses in Cambodia under the human rights violation government. I am standing here on behalf of my father and the other 4, since they are under the judicial supervision of the court on June 29, 2017, and they are the obligation not to allow to go out from the Cambodia, and also they are under the pressure of the government of Cambodia. The day that the 5 were arrested, it was not only my family, but also the other 4 who will painfully suffer from the case, with both physically and emotionally from the unjust detention. We lost our father, our mother, and our whole happiness in family. Some children skip the school because they have to play a role as a parent. And then after that, there is no warmth in the family at all. And the housewife have to live with the tear by waiting, but didn't see their husband come back home for dinner. And today, we are Cambodian. We are really proud of our parents, because we are standing on the international stage today to represent the 5, and now the 5 was recognized by the international human rights around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the ad hoc 5, I would like to thank the jury for selecting us for this award. And this award was encouraging the 5 that they are not guilty, they are not doing anything wrong, and their job was recognized by the international human rights in the world. And at the end, fight for human rights and fight for democracy for Cambodia. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much. We will proceed now with our second outstanding human rights defender who is honored this evening. Her name is Carla Velar. She's from El Salvador. She has dedicated her life to defending nationally and internationally the human rights for LGBTI persons, HIV-affected persons, migrants, persons of deprived of liberty in situations of vulnerability, as well as victims of discriminations due to their sexual orientation or gender identity. And when I say that, I can say that she really has stood up for these rights. She has been wounded by 14 bullets in 2 separate attacks. She's been raped, imprisoned, tortured, exposed to political persecution. Here's a film on her work.
Pasamos a El Salvador, donde hay alarma y preocupación en varios sectores de la población por el aumento de los crímenes contra homosexuales. Diversas organizaciones critican que las autoridades muestren desinterés ante esta situación. Salvador Castellanos nos trae reacciones de personas que se sienten víctimas de la intolerancia sexual.
Antes te insultaban. El ataque era más verbal. Si bien es cierto, años atrás era mucho más complicado caminar por las calles de El Salvador, también es cierto que no ha cambiado mucho en la actualidad. Ahora atentan contra tu vida. Ahora es la sociedad silenciosa que hoy no te ultraja, pero que te está matando. Creo que es a raíz de que no hay leyes que garanticen los derechos de las personas LGBTI. La sociedad está acostumbrada a regirse bajo los términos que las diferentes iglesias predican y que hacen que la sociedad mantenga un perfil de discriminación, un perfil de rechazo que está enraizado en nuestra sociedad.
Habían hecho como... Hay una memoria. Sí, hay una memoria.
A temprana edad, pues, empecé a identificarme como una chica y no como un chico, ¿verdad? Y el temor de que mi familia se diera cuenta de que yo no era una persona, en teoría, normal, ¿verdad? También a los 9 años fui violada por un primo y eso incrementó mi necesidad de salir de mi lugar de origen. Fue un cambio radical, ¿verdad? No tenía dónde vivir, no tenía nada. Conocí el trabajo sexual y me expuso a situaciones de violencia. Hubieron personas que atentaron en contra de mi vida, ¿verdad? Por el simple hecho de ser una persona trans, ¿verdad? Que en ese momento ni yo misma siquiera lo sabía. Una de las cosas más duras que marcó mi vida fue cuando me mandaron a un centro penitenciario. Que las autoridades del lugar supieran que me estaban violando, que me estaban torturando y que no hicieran nada.
En mi caso, tuve que salir de mi país porque la violencia que tenía era un familiar, que todavía la tengo. Fui maltratada, incluso fui usada sexualmente por unos federales.
También tuve que tener yo misma un cambio. También tuve que pasar por un proceso de reparación, de sanación conmigo misma antes de yo poder brindar un servicio. Antes de yo ser empática con la situación de violencia, con la situación de vulnerabilidad, con la situación de hambre, con la situación de rechazo que puede estar pasando una compañera en este momento. Yo ya lo viví y sé lo que duele, pero también sé por dónde irte para superarlo. Y eso me permite ser un canal de tranquilidad, de paz y tener la confianza que tienen mis compañeras en el trabajo que yo estoy ejerciendo en este momento, que para mí no es un trabajo, es mi razón de ser.
Hace 30 años fui obligada a irme de mi hogar, dejando atrás mi familia, a volver hoy al lugar de donde me fui.
Mira que ese árbol es viejo, ¿eh? Bueno, todo esto sí me acuerdo ya, pero no conozco a la gente que vivía acá, ¿verdad? Solo pasaba. Ahí nací. Ahí viví con mi abuela, con mis hermanos, con mi mamá.
Dios mío, mire usted tanto tiempo uno, ¿usted qué? ¿Se va a acordar uno?
¿Ya no me conocía?
¿Ve que le dije, nada.
¿No? ¿Es mi tía?
Sí, es su tía.
Sí, ve que le dije, no te va a conocer, le dije.
Sí, no. Ya, villita.
¿Y ahí quién vive ahora?
Ay.
Ajá, porque ahí era la otra casa suya, ¿va, tía?
Sí, ahí don Paco está ahorita, como es de don Galín, la casa.
De mi primo también.
Una familia, ¿no?
tenía un poco de miedo de venir. No de desconfianza, sino que miedo de encontrarme nuevamente con el pasado.
Y dale a Dios que todo va a salir bien, ¿verdad?
Es duro llegar a un lugar donde no tenés quien te reciba,
No, pues, claro.
quien no te dé un plato de comida, comer basura de la calle, tía, dormir en la calle.
Sí, es duro.
Yo lo viví en carne propia.
Ahora, lo que usted me está contando, todo esto, yo ignoraba por completo.
Por eso digo, hubo un factor muy grande que me hirió y me hizo daño. Y yo estoy consciente también que yo no fui la hija ideal para mi mamá. ¿Ah? ¿Cree que no es?
No, yo todito lo que usted me está contando, ciertas cosas las sabía, pues su mamá me contaba, pero digamos lo más sencillo, quizás,
claro.
Pero lo más duro
He terminado aceptando y perdonando a mi familia por el daño que me hicieron. Porque de querer o no, yo los extraño a todos y cada uno de ellos. La situación, las circunstancias me obligó a crecer lejos de ellos. Pero nunca me olvidé de ellos. Esa es la verdad. Hoy en día que ha llegado al extremo, pues, de que algunos miembros de mi familia me han pedido perdón por el daño que me hicieron. Pero también ellos lo reconocen que fue por la falta de información. Entonces eso como que los obligó y los cerró.
Ya no puede retroceder.
¿Y qué tan lejos está de aquí? Yo no me acuerdo ya, Rancho Luna, ¿dónde está Martina enterrada?
¿De parte?
Eso, o sea, está lejos, ¿verdad?
No, tan lejos como de acá, muy allá. ¿Verdad que sí? Aquel día para cuando cumplió años antes, porque no puede, ya están secas. Todo esto está seco. Pero mira, ahí están.
¿Cómo le dice el nombre de ella?
Ahí están.
Ahí está Don Juan.
Sí.
Cuánto te extraño, tía. Usted no sabe cuánto yo sufrí cuando ella me fue.
Sí, lo sé.
Ella fue la única que me aceptó. Me acuerdo cuando regañó a mi mamá porque no me aceptaba como era.
Ya ve que ella la quiso hasta el final. Así, ¿verdad?
Sí, yo sé que lo sigue haciendo, me sigue cuidando y todo eso, pero...
Ella desde el cielo le pide porque las almas le piden por uno. Ella le pide a ella.
No sé por qué a veces la vida es tan injusta.
Toda esta situación alimentó un dolor que se volvió una virtud. Descubrí a una Carla más fuerte, a una Carla que ni yo misma conocía. Creo que soy una mujer en toda la extensión de la palabra. La profesión que me dio la vida, conocer la realidad de cerca, ahora me permite reclamar mis derechos, ¿verdad?, de una forma más prudente y hacerle ver al Estado, al gobierno, que su irresponsabilidad o su falta de compromiso está causando daño en muchas personas. Y no solamente en las personas gay, lesbianas, bisexuales o trans, sino que también afecta a los vínculos familiares y que va más allá. Apegado al trabajo que puede hacer el Estado salvadoreño es la intervención de los mecanismos internacionales que insistan o que exijan o que demanden que el Estado salvadoreño de cumplimiento a los tratados internacionales que ha firmado y que ha ratificado además. Y aparte de eso, ahora que le dé cumplimiento. El interés es que esto beneficie a un país que necesita de reparación y de mucho respeto hacia el prójimo.
And now to give Ms. Carla Avelar her award, as she is with us, fortunately, this evening, I will ask her and Mr. Michel Forst, the UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights Defenders, to please both come on stage.
Muy buenas noches. Agradecer a todos y cada uno de ustedes por tomarse el tiempo de asistir a este magnífico evento que sin lugar a dudas pues marca la diferencia alrededor del mundo y resalta el trabajo que realizamos cada uno de los defensores de derechos humanos, algunos con oportunidades y otros con mínimas oportunidades y con muy pocos recursos. Hacemos lo que podemos para defender y para reclamar nuestros derechos. Estimados y estimadas asistentes de esta honorable ceremonia de premiación, como todos saben, mi nombre es Carla Avelar, orgullosa mujer transgénero de 40 años de edad y activista de El Salvador desde hace 21 años. Deseo iniciar este discurso agradeciendo a muchas personas por darme la oportunidad de estar acá en este momento, puesto que gracias a su apoyo y fe en mi persona y mi trabajo es que puedo tener el honor de compartir y dirigirme a ustedes en este momento. A quienes tengo decoro de agradecer por darme esta importante oportunidad y reconocer su apoyo en mi formación como activista de derechos humanos. Quiero dirigirme de manera muy especial a mi madre, Rosa Angélica Avelar Ávila, y a mi abuela Agustina de Jesús Avelar, admirables mujeres que me heredaron mis principios y valores y quienes han sido el pilar fundamental y principal en mi vida y mayor fortaleza e inspiración, así como un modelo de superación personal día a día. Sin su enorme apoyo y amor y comprensión, todo este trabajo no hubiese podido ser realizado por mi persona, jamás. Agradezco también a mi familia por demostrar su amor hacia mi persona, reflejo de un cambio genuino de voluntad para conocer acerca de las poblaciones LGBTI, educarse, sensibilizarse, poco a poco, hasta aceptar y respetar mi identidad de mujer transgénero que soy. También de manera especial, quiero agradecer a toda la población LGBTI que ha creído, confiado y apostado en mi trabajo como defensora de derechos humanos. No puedo dejar de mencionar a quienes no creyeron en mí, quienes siempre me desafiaron a ganarme su confianza y superar mis propias metas. Sepan que sus pensamientos y postura crítica me sirvieron de ayuda para forjar mis capacidades y mi carácter, y por ello les estoy ampliamente agradecida. La población LGBTI, como parte de mi vida, como parte de la vida social salvadoreña, debe tener determinación, fuerza, perseverancia para dinamizar los cambios sociales, socioeconómicos y culturales necesarios para romper con el círculo de violencia y la discriminación por razones de orientación sexual e identidad de género, identidad y expresión de género. El primer paso para ello es reconocerse como ciudadanas y ciudadanos con iguales derechos y valor y dignidad que cualquier otra persona, con virtudes y defectos, con sentimientos y necesidades. El siguiente paso es la lucha colectiva como pueblo que demanda ardientemente por reconocimiento, por reparación, por protección y un cese a la violencia y a la represión que se enmarcan en las distintas sociedades heterosexistas y patriarcales del mundo. Agradezco a los y las activistas que me han acompañado en esta lucha, tanto en el pasado como en la actualidad. Y aprovecho este espacio para hacer un atento y un enérgico llamado a las nuevas generaciones y a empoderarse, prepararse de forma profesional y levantarse para defender sus derechos. Hago un firme llamado a los líderes políticos a nivel nacional e internacional para que actúen por la garantía de los derechos humanos y para todos y para todas, en igualdad de condiciones, tal y como lo dicta la Declaración Universal de Derechos Humanos. De igual manera, hago un llamado intensivo a nivel mundial a los mecanismos internacionales de derechos humanos para que recomienden, monitoreen y sancionen a los Estados miembros de la OEA que no atiendan las reiteradas denuncias por agresiones contra la comunidad LGBTI en sus respectivos países. Los agresores deben de juzgarse, sin importar que pertenezcan a la sociedad civil, a organismos de gobierno, al sector religioso o a cualquier otro sector. Agradezco también de forma muy especial a Human Rights First, a las ONGs miembros del jurado y particularmente a la Fundación Martín Ennals por su incansable trabajo y por el reconocimiento que realizan año con año para los defensores y defensoras de derechos humanos alrededor del mundo. Asimismo, extiendo un llamado enérgico y eufórico a los estados y a los gobiernos de todo el mundo para que se reconozca, apoye, proteja y legitimice la lucha incansable que realizamos los defensores y defensoras de derechos humanos en el mundo, y que estos trabajen en coordinación para un mundo más justo con los más marginados y excluidos de la sociedad, entre estos las personas LGBTI. Aprovecho también para incentivar a los mecanismos e instituciones internacionales con mejores recursos y que defiendan los derechos humanos, apoyar el trabajo que realiza la sociedad civil en Centroamérica y el mundo entero. la cual muchas veces realiza con muy poco o nulo apoyo de los estados su trabajo de defensoría de derechos humanos y en condiciones de riesgo y de vulnerabilidad. Me solidarizo con todas mis compañeras y compañeros defensores de derechos humanos alrededor del mundo y les insto a que sigamos luchando juntos por alcanzar la paz, consolidando democracia genuina con estados laicos, transparentes, que respeten la naturaleza de la vida humana en todas sus expresiones y que promuevan una sociedad civil progresista. Este discurso lo doy en memoria de más de 600 personas LGBTI que han sido asesinadas en mi país con lujo de barbarie desde 1993 a la fecha. Y todos estos 600 asesinatos se encuentran en total impunidad, porque mi Estado se niega a reconocer la identidad o las orientaciones diferentes a las heterosexuales. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Gracias. Also with us this evening, the United Nations Deputy High Commissioner for Human Rights, Mrs. Kate Gilmore. She will hand the 2017 Human Rights Awards for the Martin Ennals, Award for Human Rights Defender shortly, but first of all, she wants to share her thoughts about the human rights situation in the world today, and I'm sure she has a lot to say. Mrs. Kate Gilmore.
Good evening. On behalf of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, currently in Libya, Zaid Rad Al Hussein, and my colleagues here from the UN Human Rights Office, we want to thank very much and congratulate the Martin Ennals Award Committee and Foundation, the City of Geneva and the University of Geneva as well for this wonderful occasion. Excellencies, friends, colleagues, surely there can be no greater privilege than this, that we can gather together freely, safely, in comfort, as we do tonight, exercising our human rights to recognise the exercise of human rights, in recognition, affirmation, celebration of those who day in, day out, defend the very DNA of our dignity, of our identities, of our common humanity, who defend indivisible, universal, inalienable, fundamental human rights. You know, the power and the consequence of this human rights defence and the pressing need that we have for its exercise globally, and the longing, the hunger for the imprint of its impact, it can be measured through a variety of calculus, of course, but there's no metric more boldly revealing of the contribution that human rights defenders make than the taking of the measure of the brutal force, the pernicious persecution, the ruthless repression to which today, in so many places, under the weight of so many regimes, so many defenders of human rights are subjected today. If their voices don't matter, if their activism doesn't make a difference, if their courage counts for nothing, then why do those who hold just so much power seek so definitively the silence of those who have so little? By such repression is revealed perversely and with great cruelty the global and humanising stature of the human rights advance that these human rights defenders so bravely seek. And around the world, in pattern and trend, we are bearing witness to these suppressions of free expression, to policies aimed at destroying dissenting voices, to attacks against public scrutiny, to manipulation of public opinion and electoral polls. We see the malevolent benefit that unchecked power craves from its interference with the independences of the media, the judiciary, the police, the parliament, twisting and distorting these state-building institutions, tools and methodologies that protect our freedoms into wicked weapons to prevent them. So that, defenders of women's rights, the rights of LGBTQI people, of land rights for Indigenous people, for the rights of minorities, so that these defenders can be met with arbitrary arrest, can be held incommunicado detention, can be subjected to ill treatment and torture, to be disappeared, to be assassinated, so that governments' unchecked powers may inflate under wind of nationalist fictional claims that monoracial origins guide the formation of a country and set the sovereignty of borders, that authorities' reach may expand as populists whip up firestorms of hatred and of violence against minority communities, so that the rule of law and the principles of public accountability can shrink as journalists, lawyers and judges who strive to work with integrity and independence are dismissed, are arrested, are worse, so that the work of civil society, of non-governmental organisations that stand up for people's rights may be obstructed by abusive regulation, by smear campaigns, hamstrung by impossible administrative regulation, by threat of exorbitant fine, by misuse of the judicial system to coerce them into silence. You know, these elaborate, they're dense, they're expansive, they're expensive means by which the suppression of the human rights defender is sought also reveal to us just how afraid is power of their power, of the power of scrutiny, just how limited and reluctant is privilege's capability to justify itself to those who have no privilege, of how power that is rooted in deceit, bigotry and hate flourishes in places deprived of the sanitising light that shines only through and because of the work of human rights defenders. In landscapes today of crushing violence and repression, human rights defenders continue to stand up. And by their courageous stands, we are reminded to our very core that, as US Supreme Court Justice Brandeis put it, the most important office is that of private citizen. Allow me just to linger here for a moment then on the distinguished holders of that most important office, the private citizens who tonight are the nominees and the laureate of the 2017 Martin Ennals Award. You know, Carla, it's extraordinary to watch your story. In El Salvador, you have been subjected to repeated threat. You've been subjected to discrimination violence just because of who you are, in addition to the extraordinary work you do. Public officials have failed you. Institutions responsible for upholding justice for your rights have not served you. Still, with immense courage, you have mobilised support for the rights of people of all forms of identity, for the rights of the LGBTQI community, for the rights of women, for people affected by HIV, for migrants, for people deprived of their liberty. As the UN Human Rights Office, we're immensely proud to work with you. And we trust this moment is for the government of El Salvador a turning point, an opportunity to revise, enhance, improve protection of all human rights defenders, and particularly for the rights of the LGBTQI community. Now let me come to your parents and their friends. In the context of Cambodia, the leadership your parents and their friends are providing is extraordinary. It's an example to us all. We know they've been charged unjustly. We understand that although they've been detained arbitrarily for more than a year and are still under charges that are punishable for 5 to 10 years of imprisonment, we understand that these alleged offences pertain to their human rights work, to the provision of legitimate advice, to the reimbursement of food and transport costs, to support for a woman allegedly linked to the Cambodian opposition leader who himself was arrested last month. These wonderful leaders, your parents and their friends, you know, they have an extraordinary history of supporting victims of human rights violations, including women subjected to domestic violence, victims of human trafficking, people deprived of their land rights. We celebrate their leadership. And with national elections looming in Cambodia and an increasingly intimidating atmosphere for people who oppose the government or seek to adopt independent views, it's essential that we as an international community stand with the people of Cambodia and stand beside your parents and their friends. And so to come to our laureate, if I might, your wonderful husband and father of your most gorgeous children, whose affection for chocolate chip cookies is something to behold. You know, he sets for us an extraordinary example of courage, because we know for many human rights defenders across Egypt, the need under threat to life, threat of violence has been to flee. And we know that 43 NGO workers have been sentenced to imprisonment. Several international NGOs have been forced to shut down. And along with at least 37 other activists and staff members, your extraordinary husband is facing criminal investigation as part of a foreign funding case accusing human rights NGOs and defenders of the terrible crime of receiving funding from abroad. 5 months ago, during interrogation, your husband extraordinarily was accused of intending to harm Egypt because of his role in assisting this human rights mechanism we call the Universal Periodic Review, to which every country in the world contributes. It's a United Nations human rights mechanism. He's been accused of harming Egypt for his contribution to a United Nations process, and he now, if convicted, faces up to 25 years imprisonment. Friends, we must understand Egypt's civic space is being obliterated. Obliterated under force of ongoing arrests, intimidation of human rights defenders, of journalists, of political dissidents, together with the blocking of more than 400 human rights websites and media outlets. Again, the international community must not abandon you, We must stand with you. We must notice, document, monitor, denounce, and hold Egypt to the promises it's freely made, to be one of the best examples of human rights. Nobody coerced Egypt to that agreement. As we celebrate your extraordinary contribution and the wonders of the example of our laureate, I think it's important that we recall the ancient roots of their courageous demands for justice and for fairness, for rights. You know, from the moment we as human beings emerged from evolution's primordial soup, when that very first swamp was drained. We have sought, created, and benefited from civil society spaces and the activists that populate them. Theirs are the actions of the social connectedness that shapes our lives, that weaves us into society. We need their voices for our survival, to solve our shared problems, to denounce the unfairness to which we are subjected, and we need their dissent to help invent, innovate, and elevate. Even in the darkest cells of the cruelest prison, in the midst of resource-depleted refugee camps, in a fragile settlement perched high on a remote mountaintop, shuffling along the barely shoulder-wide alleyways of sprawling slums, littered among the words of the street worker and the market stall owner, heard in the mutterings of farm labourers, the chanting of Indigenous peoples, the call of student protesters, however sputtering or flickering, however overshadowed by coercive state power, and without, I remind you, in the absence of any well-intentioned, measurable interventions by global elites, still you will find those who do not lie down. Still there you will find those who will not be silenced, those who will stand up. They're standing up for us. It's older than history. There can be no present that can rightly deny us this gift. We may stand, and indeed we should, at the horror of how world leaders abuse their power. But let us stand too in awe of how defenders use their relative powerlessness. Human rights defenders, empower them, support them, celebrate them, honour them, join them.
Thank you, Mrs. Gilmore. As Dick Ostling announced, and so did Kate Gilmore, this year's laureate is Mohamed Zadia from Egypt, a devoted activist and legal expert specializing in human rights advocacy with an emphasis on freedom of expression and association. But due to his tireless advocacy, Mohamed Zadia now is currently under investigation, facing a high risk of prosecution and life imprisonment, as well as ban from traveling, as we stated at the beginning of this evening. But I was told that he's following us, which is a good sign, and hopefully we'll get a chance to hear from him after this film to let you know about his work.
It's a very difficult feeling. Try to hide where I'm going on my kids. Trying to to make my mom feel that everything will be fine. And I know that I'm lying, that everything will not be fine. I don't know if I'm arrested tomorrow. what my wife will tell my kids, and does she will have the courage to tell them that I'm arrested? If she will be in a good situation to lie on them and tell them that your father is not here, he's traveling on a business trip. I've been charged with charges that could put me in jail for 25 years. I will waste a lot of time. My kids will grow up and I'm not with them. So I'm concerned about all of this. There are so many things in my head, and there are so many questions that I don't want to answer, and I try to escape from answering those questions. Because I want to be tomorrow, appear in front of the judge as a strong person, not hesitated, and to be proud of what I've did and everything I've done. Thinking of all of those questions and try to find an answer, this will make me somehow uncomfortable and hesitated. One of the evidence against me was writing the Universal Periodic Review report in 2014. And this is something that I proudly told the investigator that, yes, I wrote this report. And I am very proud of all the efforts that have been done in this report. This shows that the Egyptian government does really care about its international image. They want their narrative to be dominated, and no other narrative or no other discourse of what's happening in Egypt. With every terrorist attack, there are more repercussions taken by the government, and I'm afraid that those repercussions is not targeting the real threat, which is the Islamist radicals group, but it's targeting the peaceful groups, human rights defenders, political parties. I'm afraid that the government is taking an opportunity to make their hand more tight and strong over the society, to declare the state of emergency, to pass new, very repressive laws, to arrest more people. Egypt has been seen as a cornerstone in the stability in the region, but actually it is not. This regime are fueling radicalization in the country, providing the Islamist radical groups more soldiers by preventing justice, by preventing equality, by closing all the civic spaces. The government needs to know that they do need civil society. They do need human rights defenders. We are not the enemy of any government. We are not the enemy of anyone. We are just like an alarm for the government that things are not going good and things are not running smooth. So you need to change your policies. The most important thing is not the military or the security solution, but it's justice, respecting human rights, gives the people another alternative than the radicals have. I've been working in the human rights field since I have been graduated from Faculty of Law. But actually, I always dreamed to be a pilot. But now it's very difficult even to achieve this dream, if there is any opportunity to achieve it. But it's very difficult because I never heard about a pilot that under travel ban. I don't stand unjust, and I hate to be silent when there's something I feel that it's wrong. For me, if I remain silent, for me and for all my colleagues, will not be happy with ourselves, will not be comfortable. But if we choose to be on the side of the government, I don't think that we are going to respect ourselves. I know from the very beginning when I started to work in the human rights field under a totalitarian regime like Mubarak, that in the end of this path, there is a consequence. There will be some kind of price. We are going to spend a good amount of our lives in prison. I don't know how I should be prepared to go to prison. But actually, everyone except me should be prepared not to let this happen. But I feel that I will be arrested sooner or later. I never ever thought of leaving the country because it's better for me to fight more here in Egypt in order to get a better life. The success that we are achieving, it's in very, very difficult circumstances. So although all the circumstances around you is not encouraging, but this is something that gives us a reason why we should continue. Seeing a lot of young generation talking about the universality of human rights and talking about the right to know, the flow of information, freedom of association, freedom of assembly. There is a lot of solidarity from different groups, from political parties, from human rights organizations, from public figures. This is actually the fuel that we can, that let us move, and this is actually the food that's keeping us alive. And even if we know very well that we will not have a happy ending, and most probably this will be something dramatic, but at least we will be very proud of what was achieved and what was achieved by the human rights movement in Egypt since 1984 till now.
We've been following the script quite well so far, but I think we're going to modify a little bit this ceremony. As I've been told, we have Mohamed Zaria live with us, so please welcome him first. Then I will still ask Mrs. Kate Gilmore to please kindly come back on stage, as well as your wife, Mrs. Shima Abdulaziz. She will receive the award in your name, and then we'll improvise. We'll see who speaks. Please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Dear friends and colleagues, thank you so much for honoring my husband today. Our daughters, Layla, Nelly, and I value this tribute to the work of my husband and his comrades. It means so much to us, and raise the spirits of our children, who now see who their father is, what he does, and what he and his colleagues in the Egyptian rights movement are facing. This is the image that will remain fixed in their minds and can be erased by the media summer campaigns. When Muhammad was interrogated, we lied to our daughters, telling them that we were going somewhere for Papa's work. Stop playing. I didn't know what I would tell them if I came back without him. They know he is banned from travel. As our youngest Nelly says, Papa can't travel because the government told him not to get on a plane again. But now I can face them. If, and I hope not, Muhammad is arrested, I will tell them that their father, along with his brave comrades, are paying the price for their bravery, and that they are not forgotten by the world. Thank you for your support, and I hope this support for my husband and his comrades continues. Thank you very much.
We have the image, but I think we have the sound as well. So, Mr. Zaria, good evening, and we're all ears to listen to you.
Thank you very much. Colleagues and friends, thank you for allowing me to speak with you today and celebrate the work and sacrifice of human rights defenders from around the world. I'm deeply honored and grateful to be recognized by the esteemed Martin Ennals Award and profoundly humbled to be nominated beside defenders like Carla Adler and Teresa Pipe-KH. You really inspired me and dare us all to dream about a better tomorrow. Thank you for your courage. I do not view this honor as a recognition of my work alone. Instead, This award belongs to the tens of thousands of Egyptian citizens who have been tortured, imprisoned, disappeared, or killed over the last 6 years for nothing more than standing up to corruption and tyranny through peaceful means. This award belongs to the many Egyptian human rights defenders who currently face the most formidable threats they have confronted since the emergence of the right movement in this country, but who still continue to fight for freedoms and dignity despite constant attacks against them, including defamation campaign, travel ban, assets freeze, torture, enforced disappearance, and the imminent threat of life imprisonment. This award belongs to the dozens of Egyptian human rights organizations that government is attempting to shut down, even as I speak, part of a systematic campaign aimed at the eradication of one of the most dynamic human rights community in the world. This award also belongs to my colleagues and friends at the Cairo Institute for Human Rights Studies, who give me strength and support on a daily basis, as they do for many human rights defenders throughout the Arab region. Honored attendees, the nominees in this year's ceremony represent the varied threats that human rights defenders and communities increasingly face in many places in the world. The case of Egypt is only one example. The Egyptian human rights movement is a part of a global human rights movement, and the global movement is also under threat. And so we must come together from all regions of the world and stand side by side if we are to emerge stronger from this critical moment in history. For those in the audience tonight who are European citizens, our fates as citizens are also deeply connected. Your freedoms and rights depend on also defending the freedom and rights of the Egyptians. This is not just a nice slogan, it is a reality unfolding before our eyes. Amnesty International recently warned of a threat of a permanent state of emergency forming in Europe. And we have all seen the steady rise of popular support for hate-driven politics. Those are only the shadow of what could be. The recent events in Europe have in large part been driven by events in the Arab region. The collapse of a state held together by brutal force instead of democratic legitimacy, followed by mass exodus of desperate refugees and the extremist violence nurtured by governments that do not allow peaceful dissent and in turn give birth to large-scale terrorist organizations that export the horrific violence across borders. Yet, European policymakers continue to provide only lip service to the importance of democracy and rights in my region while clamoring to sell weapons and make profitable deals from a very narrow set of invested interests. By doing so, they not only betray the democratic values they have pledged to uphold, but also pave the way for the loss of your own liberty. I urge you all to demand your governments take courageous action to end this self-destructive pattern before it's too late, not just for people you may never met, but for your own family and friends. In Egypt, as in many places, we must struggle not only to end human rights abuses, but also to resist the normalization of these abuses and acceptance of them as a routine part of a daily life. I remember the first time an Egyptian court issued a judgment sentencing 529 people to death. My phone rang incessantly with journalists' requests to comment. A month later, when another mass death sentence was issued for an even larger number of defendants, I received no call. I realized then human rights travesty can become ordinary, something people will adjust to in time. My fears were confirmed when another 188 people were later sentenced to death, and then another 110 people, and no one paid attention. General Sisi, now president, assumed public office in Egypt determined the summit of any public life or civic action, blocking every outlet of expression, whether for his opponents, independent voice, or even those who disapproved of his policies in silence. This he considered the surest way to prevent a repeat of the 2011 uprising, demanding democratic rule, and basic dignity. He has not learned the true lesson of Gaddafi or Assad. Libya continues to suffer from the negative consequences of Gaddafi's rule, while Assad rules over the ashes of a destroyed Syria, a state that has killed more than 1 million of its own citizens. Egypt faces undeniable security challenges. Terrorist attacks are not longer limited to Sinai, but have reached Cairo, Alexandria, and other provinces. But this doesn't not seem to bother the Egyptian state. In fact, it provides an excuse to pass repressive laws in the name of combating terrorism. For example, the new highly repressive NGO law that in effect outlaws independent civil society organization was passed after bombing of church in Tanta and another in Alexandria. The Egyptian state has proven to be quite capable in using intelligence and spy technologies that later supplied by many democracies. Yet, it does not primarily deploy these capacities to capture terrorists or protect security patrols in Sinai. It instead uses them, for example, to target and arrest members of LGBTIQ community. These are just few examples in Egypt that highlight the issue that those that struggle against oppression around the world face, and which we must confront together as citizens from every walk of life. Thank you very much once again for this honor, and I look forward to work with all of you for a better tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your words. Thank you so much for your work, for your example. Wishing you the best of evening. Thank you very much, Mr. Zeria. Thank you. Okay, let's try to go on and to conclude this ceremony now. Please welcome back Mrs. Sandrine Salerno. She's emotional. I can tell we all are, actually. She's the Deputy Mayor of the City of Geneva, and she's been working hard over the years to make this ceremony possible.
Mesdames et messieurs, chers amis, bon, j'ai un magnifique discours, mais je crois que ce soir, j'arriverai pas à le lire. J'arriverai pas à le dire non plus. C'est vrai que c'est un peu compliqué de faire le discours de la fin. Donc, je vais peut-être commencer par les remerciements, parce que c'est ce qui clôturait mon discours. D'abord, peut-être, dans l'ordre, bien évidemment, agradecer à Carla d'être ici à Genève pour un combat qui est si essentiel et si important aussi en Suisse et à Genève. C'est pas uniquement un combat du Salvador. Le droit de chacune, de chacun d'être respecté dans son identité de genre. Remercier bien évidemment les personnes qui représentent le groupe de défenseurs, et les filles, hein, si j'ai bien compris. Merci beaucoup d'être venue, merci beaucoup madame d'être venue d'Égypte. J'avais écrit à l'ambassade d'Égypte pour que votre mari ait un passeport, mais ça m'a été refusé. Je pense que cette cérémonie, elle est compliquée parce que, et notamment cette édition, parce que en définitive, on aurait vraiment envie que toutes les personnes, tous les défenseurs des droits de l'homme, ceux qui ont été nommés, ceux qui vont recevoir un prix, soient présents avec nous. Et on se rend compte, c'est pas la première édition, qu'en définitive, certaines personnes ne peuvent absolument pas quitter leur pays. Et il y a toujours un mélange d'émotions, de tristesse aussi, de voir que, alors que pour nous c'est parfois si simple de se déplacer et d'user de l'entier presque de nos droits fondamentaux, pour d'autres personnes ailleurs c'est si compliqué. Donc il y a toujours des sentiments assez ambivalents à l'occasion de cette cérémonie. En tout cas, une chose est sûre, c'est que cette cérémonie, elle est très importante, et je pense que vous toutes, vous tous qui êtes réunis dans cette salle, vous partagez aussi cette conviction, c'est que partout sur la planète, des hommes et des femmes ont cette force intérieure si incroyable qu'ils arrivent à se mobiliser, à porter des combats essentiels pour des droits fondamentaux qui, je le redis, ne sont pas uniquement des droits fondamentaux dans leur pays, mais leurs droits sont aussi nos droits. Donc quelque part, leur combat, il est aussi essentiel pour nous ici à Genève, dans les conditions de vie souvent très confortables que nous connaissons. Donc le sentiment d'avoir vraiment des hommes et des femmes qui sont exceptionnels, qui ont souvent des familles qui sont exceptionnelles, qui les appuient, qui les supportent dans leur combat, parce qu'on l'a vu ce soir, que ce soit pour la famille de Carla, pour votre époux, pour vos parents, c'est souvent un engagement personnel qui met à très forte contribution l'entier de la famille et des amis. Et on peut imaginer chacune et chacun ce que ça signifie comme engagement personnel, mais aussi comme engagement familial large lorsqu'on prend ces chemins-là, qui pourtant sont des chemins vraiment essentiels parce qu'ils rappellent notre dignité à nous, les hommes et les femmes, de disposer de droits fondamentaux et de vivre dans des démocraties où les gouvernements respectent nos droits fondamentaux. Donc vraiment, un énorme merci à vous et au-delà de vous, à vos parents, à vos amis qui vous accompagnent sur ce chemin. Remercier aussi bien évidemment toutes les associations qui sont le cœur du prix Martine Ennals. On les a citées, Monsieur Dick, Austin, vous les avez cités, les 10 ONG qui, tout au long de l'année, travaillent pas uniquement pour remettre ce prix, mais vraiment pour faire vivre leur réseau, pour appuyer sur le terrain les hommes et les femmes qui sont engagés en matière de droits humains. C'est souvent très compliqué, très difficile de devoir choisir, mais enfin chaque année, vous y arrivez, et chaque année aussi, cette cérémonie, avec la collaboration de l'Université de Genève, je tenais à remercier bien évidemment son recteur, Madame Calmiret, le haut-commissaire et son adjointe aux droits humains. Cette cérémonie prend tout son sens pour une ville comme Genève, où on a la chance d'avoir historiquement ces organisations internationales, les organisations non gouvernementales, qui parfois mettent des années à faire accepter un mot dans un protocole, et qu'on peut se dire toute cette diplomatie pour un mot, à quoi ça sert? Mais en définitive, toute cette diplomatie pour un mot, elle sert à garantir nos droits individuels, collectifs, d'humains sur cette planète. Donc même si c'est parfois très compliqué, si c'est parfois très douloureux sur le terrain, c'est essentiel et on doit en être fiers et en être vraiment les dépositaires de cette force, de cette énergie qui, à Genève et à New York, mais à Genève aussi, on a beaucoup d'organisations, permet de manière pragmatique, même si ça prend beaucoup de temps, de faire avancer dans les textes, dans le droit international, notre capacité aux uns et aux autres à vivre en paix les uns avec les autres. En tout cas, merci pour votre présence à toutes et tous, parce que ça aussi c'est très important. On a besoin de la société civile, à Genève aussi. On a besoin d'hommes et de femmes qui sont mobilisés, qui sont critiques vis-à-vis des décisions et de l'environnement dans lequel ils évoluent, et que c'est parce que nous resterons ensemble, nous serons plus nombreux, nous serons aux aguets et dans une revendication constructive que les droits fondamentaux des uns et des autres, ici, à Genève, mais partout, au Salvador, en Égypte et au Cambodge, avanceront. Merci à tous et tous profondément d'être venus ce soir.
Merci Sandrine pour ce discours revisité, j'imagine. Well, this year's Martin Ennals Award for Human Rights Defender ceremony has now officially come to a conclusion, to an end. Thank you again very much for showing your support, which is of course always appreciated. More than that, it's needed. It's needed on an everyday basis because of course, as you all know, defending the human rights is an everyday fight, and it's a fight also in Switzerland. Let's keep that in mind. So once again, merci infiniment de votre présence. Thank you very much to you all. Let me remind you that there is a buffet that will be served upstairs. You're all kindly welcome to join it, to participate. And if you're watching on the internet, you're more than welcome to have a drink whenever or wherever you are to honor our laureates this evening. Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.